This video is sponsored by PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. Hey guys, in today's video, we'll be taking a look at Clefable from the Twilight Masquerade expansion set. I think Clefable is awesome more for its attack Metronome. For 2 colorless energies, you can copy one of your opponent's active Pokemon and use it as this attack. And basically that's what we'll be doing today in this video, is just copy a bunch of our opponent's attacks. I really just wanted to try this out, and guys, this build is purely experimental and I really just wanted to showcase Clefable on its own. However, it is worth noting, and obviously there are a bunch of attacks that even if Clefable copies it, it will be useless. Chien-Pao's attack, for example, requires water energies to deal big damage. But since we don't have water energies, copying the attack would be useless. Or copying Regidrago V-STAR's attack that copies other attacks of Dragon-type Pokemon in your discard pile. Clefable would do nothing if we copied the attack because we don't have Dragon-type Pokemon. Although you could add a Dragon-type Pokemon in your build, I suppose. But you get the point. As its pre-evolution, I'm using this Clefairy. It has the Moon Watching Party ability. Once during your turn, if this is in the active spot, you may search your deck for a basic psychic energy for each of your bench Clefairy and attach it to that Clefairy. This is a good way to start energizing your Pokemon even on turn 1. And you can also use this to attack with Wonderstorm. For 3 colorless energies, it deals 20 damage times the number of psychic energies that are attached to all of your Pokemon. And as a secondary attacker, and really more of a sneak attack, I'm using 1 copy of this Clefable for its More Moon attack. For 3 psychic energies, it deals 50 damage, and if your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, you can take 1 more prize. This is a great way to offset the price trade so that you can get an advantage even at knocking out a single prize Pokemon. I am using Gardevoir EX as my primary energy accelerator in this build, thanks to its Psychic Embrace ability. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a basic Psychic energy from your discard pile to one of your Psychic Pokemon, but you deal 2 damage counter to that Pokemon, and you cannot attach any more with this ability if it will knock out that Pokemon. And of course, you can also use this to attack with Miracle Force, which deals 190 damage. And its pre-evolution Kirlia will be our main draw engine for this build. It has the Refinement ability. Once during your turn, you must discard a card from your hand to use this ability, and when you do, you may draw 2 cards. And then I also have Munkidori thanks to its Adrena Brain ability. Once during your turn, you can transfer up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon, but you do need to have a Dark Energy attached to Munkidori. You can effectively use this ability after using Gardevoir's Psychic Embrace ability by attaching those energies to your Pokemon, dealing those damage, and then Munkidori can transfer those damage counters to your opponent's Pokemon. This is a great way to heal your Pokemon and to add damage to your opponent's Pokemon to set it up for an easier knockout. And don't forget its attack Mind Bend. It can deal 60 damage and it confuses your opponent's active Pokemon. As for the other cards worth noting, I have the Defiance Band tool card, which can increase your attack to your opponent's active Pokemon by 30 more damage, but only if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. And then I also have Maximum Belt tool card. You can only have 1 A-Spec card in your deck. Attacks used by the Pokemon this card is attached to will do 50 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. These attack buffs are especially useful, especially if you can get a knockout with Clefable's More Moon attack so that you can get an extra prize. All the other cards in this deck are pretty much self-explanatory, but Boss's Orders and Counter Catchers will be essential for this build, since you will want to target your opponent's Pokemon with strong attacks, put them in the active spot, and use their attack against them. Again, this build is just for fun, guys, and it's purely experimental, just so we can test out the full potential of Clefable. A few things I would probably add in this build are Reversal Energy so that you can easily attack for just 1 energy attachment. But with that said, let's just have some fun and copy some strong attacks. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below, and now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Clefable. Before we get into the video, I have a small request. If you're liking the content I create, please leave a like to this video, and please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already. This is a small click for you, but for me, it means a lot. Thank you so much for all of your support. Alright, on to our first match. We're gonna start this one with a Clefairy in the active spot. My opponent will take 2 mulligans, which means we get 2 extra cards at the beginning of our turn. Alright, nice. We got a Nest Ball. And they're going to start with Blood Moon Ursaluna EX in their active spot. Usually not a good start because it has 3 retreat costs. But this one usually is used late game so that they can attack for 0 energy, 240. But you know what? This is a Lugia deck, so I don't think it really matters. If they set up their Archeops, they can easily energize it and they can attack with it whenever they want. So there's the Lugia V on their bench. They're gonna attach a gift energy onto it, and they're gonna end their turn. Alright, so now got an Arvin. With this Nest Ball, I think I'm just gonna get Monkey Dory because this one has 110 HP, which we cannot really get with Buddy Buddy Poppin', so we'll just set it up right away. And with Arvin, we're gonna use Buddy Buddy Poppin', and first things first is to set up our draw engines. So we're gonna set up 2 Rolts on our bench, and with Artisan, set up another Clefairy on our bench so that we can use Moon Watching Party to accelerate at least 1 energy onto our bench Clefairy. So I'm just gonna end my turn. I actually wanted to put more switches or switching options in this build, but it was in sacrifice of the whole consistency of this build. So I had to really limit my switch. But it would have been nice if I could use it so that I can switch between Clefairies and use the Moon Watching Party. Alright, my opponent will use Iono, and that's okay with us. I got Curlia, so I can start drawing extra cards. Just checking the attack damage output for Archeops, and it will not knock out Archeops if we use the attack against it. But my opponent will just pass, so we have Curly available to us now, and I'll just use Buddy Buddy Poppin' to shuffle our deck, and then set up another Clefairy, and I'll just use Moon Watching Party for now. I think I can also use Curlia to draw 2. Let me use Moon Watching Party first. Put 2 energies, 1 to each of my bench Clefairy, and then I'll use Refinement. Discard 1 Psychic Energy at least, so that once I evolve into Gardevoir, I can accelerate even onto my active Pokemon. Use probably Professor's Research so that I can get another energy, evolve into Clefable, and start copying my opponent's attacks. And having boss orders is pretty good. I could, even if they retreat this Ursaluna, I can just get it back into the active spot. For now, my opponent will use Luminion V, and they evolve into Cinccino, which is pretty dangerous. I'm afraid if that will knock out my Gardevoir EX, but we'll just have to see. My opponent uses Carmine. This discards their hand and draw 5. So it's like a mini Professor's Research, but you can use it on your very first turn, where you usually will not be able to use supporter cards. So it's good to have, and it also discards your hand, so it's a good way to set up Archeops. I think my opponent just was stalling those few turns so that they can guarantee at least 2 Archeops set up on their bench, because they only have 1 chance at that ability. If they miss that chance, once we knock out an Archeops, it basically puts a huge handicap to this Lugia VSTAR build. So now, just checking this Mist Energy. So it only prevents effects of attacks, right? We can still copy their attack. We're not affecting their Pokemon, so it shouldn't stop us from copying their attacks. So with that, I'll just put Monkey Dory in the active spot. And what I'm thinking of doing is, since we can't really copy Cinccino's attack, I could take 2 prizes, surprise them against the price trade. Again, Cinccino's attack depends on how many special energies are attached to it. Since we don't have special energies, I'll just attack with this Monkey Dory. 60, confuse it, maybe prevent it from attacking. But we did get a Clefable. I could use it next turn now. Get 2 prizes against the Cinccino. So what I'm gonna do this turn, since we got the energy, I'm just gonna use Mind Bend to deal 60 damage to the Cinccino. Confuse it, so they'll have to flip a coin and successfully get ahead so that they can attack. Otherwise, it will deal 30 damage onto itself. So with Mind Bend, we deal 60. That puts it within knockout range of our Clefable, which is in our hand. And then, even if they knock out our Monkey Dory, we can just recover it. attach those energies from the discard pile with Gardevoir onto our Clefable. And we have Counter Catcher. Since we're behind on prices, we can take 2 prizes against their Cinccino. Alright, so they're just gonna attack, knock out our Munkidori. Thank you, Munkidori, for your fine service. We got an Iono, alright. That's gonna help us draw into extra cards as well. So, what I'm gonna do is just Super Rod these two, because we need those 2 energies. And then let me go ahead and attach these for now, before I forget. I can evolve into Clefable, Counter Catcher, there's Cinccino, Iono, and we got another Ralts. Alright. Could definitely use that. But for now, I think I'm just gonna use more Moon. I don't want to fill up my bench just yet. So, we got a knockout with our Clefable, which is this is my first time actually using this Clefable, which is really awesome. So we got 1 extra prize for knocking out their Cinccino. So now my opponent is surprised, and they'll have to watch out for this Clefable, because once we recover it, they'll have to watch out for another extra prize knockout. So they're gonna be a lot more careful, but they're gonna take a knockout, attacking with their Lugia VSTAR, and they're trying to set up another Cinccino, but they don't have a lot of draw options here, so we are, I think, at an advantage here. So since we recovered our Munkidori, we have Dark Energy available. We'll attach this. So once we start attaching our energies with Gardevoir EX, we can transfer those damage counters onto their Pokemon. But if we copy Lugia V-Star's attack, we're only dealing 220, and unfortunately, if we transfer these damage counters, it's still not gonna be enough. So I really need that maximum belt to increase our attack, but we didn't get it, but that's fine. It is in the deck, but we could probably get it with Arvin next turn. Let me use Adrena Brain for the meantime, and I'll just add damage counters to this Lugia V-Star. That will put it to 250 once we attack, right? So I think we can actually finish it next turn with Munkidori, and then figure out our next move next turn. So let's use Metronome, 220 damage using their own attack against them. So now this Lugia V-Star is within knockout range just by transferring damage counters onto it. So what I'm thinking here, actually, they're gonna boss my Clefairy? Why did they do that? I'm thinking they're probably guessing or thinking that we're gonna evolve into the other Clefable again to take an extra prize, because we did put this Lugia V-Star within knockout range. So I think I think they're just taking out that option, but I think we got this. We need 4 prizes left. Another boss orders. Hey, let me go ahead and use Arvin. I can use Counter Catcher as my boss. I think we got this. Alright, here's what we're gonna do, guys. So what we're gonna do is put damage counters to Munkidori, transfer 3 damage counters to their Lugia V-Star, knocking it out, getting 2 prizes. And then we're going to use Counter Catcher and use Blood Moon Ursaluna's attack against it with maximum belt to get a knockout against it. And here it is, guys. Excellent. Maximum belt on Clefable, Metronome, and we're gonna copy Blood Moon. 290 damage for the win. There it is. 4 prizes in a single turn, guys. Wow, good game. Alright, moving on to our next match. We will have to mulligan. We don't have any basic Pokemon in our hand. And we're gonna start this one with a Ralts in the active spot. At least we got Buddy Buddy Poffin to set up more basic Pokemon during our turn. My opponent receives 1 extra card from our mulligan, and they're gonna start with the Manaphy. And we got Manaphy as well. Just put that into play, get Clefairies set up on our bench, and then I'll retreat my Ralts into Manaphy. I'll just sacrifice Manaphy just in case my opponent can attack on their first turn going second, and then see what happens in the next few turns. And my opponent will set up 2 Dreepies with their Buddy Buddy Poffin. We're going against Dragapult EX. This is actually not a good matchup for us. Yeah, they can take double knockouts. Clefairy only has 60 HP, so if they spread those 6 damage counters onto one of our Clefairy, it'll just die. So I'll have to evolve it as soon as possible if I possibly can. Ralts can survive at least those damage counters. It can take at least 6, survive with 10 HP, but then again, they're still setting it up for KO for the next turn. For the meantime, my opponent is actually using a Xatu combination, and with Manaphy, they're gonna use TM Evolution to evolve 2 of their bench Pokemon. They're gonna evolve 1 into Dracloak and 1 into a Bibarel. So now their draw support are set up. That is crazy. For now, I'm just gonna use Iono. Alright, we can set up more basic Pokemon at least. We got 1 other Ralts, and I'll use Artisan to get Monkey Dory. This is a good way to hopefully offset my opponent's damage counters by giving it back to them, in a sense. But at least we can protect our Clefairies. We have 1 Bravery Charm to add 50 more HP, so at least they cannot knock out Clefairy just yet with their damage counters. And Clefable, although it's not the one that we want, it's still usable. So a few things I could probably do with Dragapult here. We can copy its attack, deal 200, and if we have maximum belts, I could possibly attack with this Clefairy and get 3 prizes if it's doable. It is doable. It's just a matter of being able to be successful with it. So there it is. There's the Dragapult EX. It has emerged, and they're using Hyper Aroma. Hey, you can search their deck for 3 stage 1 Pokemon, and there it is, another Dracloak and a Xatu. So if they have the energies, there it is, Earthen Vessel. They're just getting all the cards that they need. Earthen Vessel will get them 2 energy cards, basic energies. They get 1 Psychic, 1 Fire. So now they can accelerate with Xatu, and that also lets them draw 2 cards, and then they can attach a Fire Energy and then start spreading those damage. And then Dracloak also has Recon Directive, allowing them to look at the top 2 cards of their deck, put 1 in their hand, and put 1 on the bottom of their deck. But they're just gonna attach a Fire Energy on Dracloak. Okay. I guess they can attack with Jet Headbutt, knocking out our Manaphy for 70. That's a good start. Anyways, their Dragapult EX is really bulky. There's really no way for us to one-hit knock it out. So this is a really, really hard matchup for us. Let's go ahead and just start to get our energies out here. We haven't had one forever, so what I'm gonna do, this is actually not the favored Clefable that I need, but what I'm gonna do is just use Ultra Ball and set up at least 1 Curlia. I can start drawing next turn, but I really hate to do this, but I'll have to sacrifice these 2 so that I can get a Curlia. But since we don't have an extra card, we can't even draw with it. And I'll just get another Ralts with Artisan. And what I'm gonna do is just use Follow Me. It simply just switches one of your opponent's bench Pokemon into their active. So I'm just gonna stall and put their Bibarel in their active spot. So in most cases, at least as far as I know, a lot of Dragapult EX builds doesn't have a lot of good switching options. I wonder how well it does against like Snorlax stalls or any control decks. I know the Moel deck doesn't. That one doesn't use Snorlax. The main Pokemon that they use to trap their opponent's active is with Mawile. So I feel like that one has an advantage against this Dragapult unless they have a way to remove their Pokemon from play. And there goes another Dragapult EX. Can they get this Bibarel out of the active spot is the question. Because if they do, we're pretty much dead. Alright, they end their turn. Alright, we survive another turn, guys. That's insane. Let's go ahead and use Arven. We can discard this Buddy Buddy Poffin using Kirlia, and I'll just get maximum belts. Let's use Refinement, draw 2, Professor's Research for our next turn. Can we survive another turn? I wonder. I think I'll just attach an energy to Clefairy and end my turn. Because we can't retreat my Clefable just yet. I need another energy. It needs two retreat costs before we can get it out of there. And anyways, we really can't copy Bibarel's attack. I mean, we can, but you have to flip a coin, only deal 100 damage. So my opponent is now attaching an energy. They're attempting to just manually retreat it from this point. And we got Counter Catcher. We can start attacking actually if we get the cards that we need. I'm gonna use Professor's Research, so I'm not going to. I'm just gonna attach the maximum belt to Clefable to possibly use it against their Dragapult actually. So now we got pretty good cards here. We can evolve into another Kirlia. So now we're moving, guys. We're moving. I can use Counter Catcher. And then I can evolve into Gardevoir EX. Then we can evolve into Clefable. Alright. Okay, I think we can start attacking here. Yeah, before my opponent gets an advantage, because once they start attacking, we're just gonna slowly die. I'm gonna evolve into Gardevoir EX, accelerate another energy to this Clefable so we can retreat it. And then put one to this Clefable so we can copy their Dragapult EX's attack. And then, yeah, let's use Metronome. Phantom Dive, deal 200 damage, and then spread 6 damage counters. And I'll put them on this Dragapult EX. It's just really hard to knock one out with their own attack. That's the only limit to Clefable's Metronome attack. You can only do as much as copy your opponent's active's attack. But since our build is not built around the main strategy of our opponent's deck, there's really a disadvantage to just using Metronome. But again, this is purely experimental, guys. I could have added Drifloon, Screamtail in this build and just make it your old-fashioned Gardevoir EX, but that defeats the purpose. This is a Clefable showcase, and I just wanted to showcase it as is. But let's see let's see how well we do here. I need that Dark Energy so I can transfer those damage counters with Munkidori. I think I could use my bench Clefable to actually get 3 prizes. I think we have a chance here. Put 3 energies onto it. We do have maximum belt on it. We can deal 100 damage. We just need those 20 extra damage counter to that Dragapult EX to get a knockout. But they're gonna retreat with their new Dragapult EX in the active spot. They need a Psychic Energy here to start attacking. They can definitely spread damage, but at least a lot of our bench Pokemon will be surviving an attack. Except for our active Clefable. No, they're just gonna attack with Jet Headbutt. Hey! Let's go ahead and recover our basic dark energy. We'll leave the other energies because we need that to accelerate with Gardevoir and start drawing extra cards with our Kirlia. Sacrifice that, draw to... Hey, there's the dark energy. Alright, cool. Let's attach this to our Monkey Dory. And then... I could take advantage of this and just knock out their benched Dragapult because I might miss the chance. I don't know what else to do. I could copy their active Pokemon's attack, but I might miss the chance, guys. So I'll just take advantage of this. Transfer these damage. And then accelerate 3 energies. Because once they start spreading damage, I might not be able to accelerate energies to this Clefable. So it really limits our options. So you see here, it's already at 80 damage, so we can't even accelerate any more energies onto it. So I'll just boss this Dragapult and then take 3 prizes from it. I'll go ahead and recover my boss orders and another Iono. That might disrupt their hand later on in this game as they get more prizes. So we're gonna use more Moon to knock out their Dragapult EX, getting us 3 prizes. That is insane. We're doing good so far, guys. We are ahead in the price exchange here, but this can definitely turn around real quickly. Because even with this Dragapult, they can attack our Clefable, knock out our other Clefable on our bench because they can spread 6 damage counters. 120 HP is just not cutting it. And they also have Radiant Charizard. Oh man, they can attack with that. And with the Iono, we're getting only 3 cards. Okay, this is not looking good. And we're limited in space. We'll have to use Super Rod to recover our Clefairies. And again, they're gonna slowly gatekeep us and prevent us from setting it up. I don't know what other moves to... What better move to do last turn. It just the timer is a pressure. If you guys have been in competition, it looks easy, right? When you're looking at it from the side, you should have done this, that, but when you're in pressure, it's a lot harder to make a good decision. So with this Super Rod, I'll have to recover my Clefairies for sure. And then at least I can set up 2. Even if they can spread damage, I'll have 2 Clefairies. And then hopefully we can spread those damage. Refinement. And then Professor's Research. I wonder if I have one. I can discard that. I should have more Clefables in our deck. So discard that to draw 2. And alright, we got boss orders and stuff. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is just use Monkey Dory, use Mind Bend, confuse my opponent, and deal 60 damage. So it is within knockout range at least. What we could do is use Clefable, copy its attack, knock it out, and then spread 6 damage. Maybe take out that Manaphy by transferring damage counters with Monkey Dory next turn. So we have a chance here. We just need to boss their yeah, we just have to boss up this Dragapult EX basically. They're gonna use Clairvoyant Sense on their Bibarel, and they're gonna use Kieran to switch and retreat Bibarel. Oh, dude, that was actually a really good move. Wow. What a great move. It's gonna be hard for me to recover this Monkey Dory now. I think that was the only chance that we got to knock out their Manaphy to get our 3 prizes. And they're adding damage counters to our Gardevoir EX. Yeah. Our recovery options is very limited here. We got 6 cards left in our deck. Yeah, we can't recover our Monkey Dory anymore. We only have two super rods in this build. Man, this is really bad. That was our only chance of winning, and they have their Radiant Charizard on standby also. So what I'm gonna do is Psychic Embrace. They still need to take 2 prizes if they manage to not boss our Gardevoir EX, I guess. And I'm just gonna Iono. Hopefully they don't have a boss orders here, but they have a barrel, so I don't know. Let's use Metronome, use Phantom Dive. We can knock out this Dragapult EX and put damage counters to their Manaphy. And we can boss it up, maybe knock out Manaphy using its own attack. Or use up this Radiant Charizard's attack against it. As long as they don't have a boss, please, no. No! No, they have a Cutter Catcher! And that's gonna deal enough damage to knock out our Gardevoir EX. Oh, that was such a close game! Oh, oh man. That was a good game though. That was a good game. Hey guys, you just have to enjoy the game. Even if you lose, this was a very exhilarating game. I really like it. I am going to showcase that even if I lost. Good game to my opponent. Alright, moving on to our final match. We're gonna start with Ralts in the active spot. We got Buddy Poffin, and we're going against Gouging Fire. Alright, this is actually a really, hopefully easy matchup. I'll attach an energy to Clefairy, and my turn. So, Gouging Fire usually takes at least 2 turns to power itself up. Unless they have any other way to do that. They can use Professor Sada's Vitality to accelerate energy, but they need energy in the discard pile. Magma Basin also helps, but their Gouging Fire is not on their bench. They have Delphox, okay, Delphox V. So 120 damage to the bench. We'll need Manaphy in this matchup so that they don't take double knockouts, because our Clefable only has 120 HP. So we need to protect our bench. Alright, with that, they're gonna use Ultra Ball, get Radiant Greninja, use Mew EX Restart ability to draw until they have 3 cards in their hand. Discard 1 Fire Energy to get 2 more from their deck. Concealed cards to draw 2 more. And they're just discarding fire energies left and right. Alright. Let's see how this works. So, I mean, we could copy their Delphox V's attack as well. Deal 120. Maybe knock out that Moltres. Deal damage to their Radiant Greninja. Transfer damage counters to it with Monkey Dory. Knock it out. Get 2 prizes that way. So we have a bunch of options in this matchup for sure. Alright, they attach 1 energy to their Gouging Fire. And we gotta watch out for that Delphox for sure. For now, I'm going to use Ultra Ball. Get Curlia. Hopefully we get a draw support here. Boss orders is no help right now. Hey, Professor's Research. I will take that. And then I can recover Clefable, so I'll just use Professor's Research because I really want to use the Metronome Clefable in this match for, already. And then Bravery Charm, I don't know if it will help. So I'm just gonna end my turn for now. I could just use Bravery Charm as like a fodder or something to use Ultra Ball, but we'll see. I'll just leave it in my hand and not waste it. But we'll have to recover those 3 Pokemon cards later on. So let's see if my opponent can charge up their Gouging Fire. But as of right now, they're only taking 1 prize at a time, and we'll be taking 2 against this Gouging Fire. And again, we'll want to set up our Monkey Dory. We could possibly take double knockout against their Radiant Greninja and Moltres. if we copy their Delphox V's attack. Okay, with their Arven, they're gonna get Pokemon Catcher, flipping a coin, and they fail. Alright, cool. So we can sacrifice this Ralts, and we have another one. And then we can start copying their attacks once we put this Clefairy in the active spot. Okay. With Forest Sealstone, they get something. Energy Switch. And they're gonna use Heat Blast to deal a knockout against our Ralts. I guess that's all they needed. Okay, well, with that, we're gonna put our Clefairy in the active spot. I'm gonna use Moon Watching Party while we still can before we evolve into Clefable to attach an energy from our deck to one of our Clefairy on the bench. Then we can now evolve and start attacking. So we can't copy Mew EX's attack because it's just a copy to copy an attack. So it's not gonna be, it's not gonna do anything. So with that, Bravery Charm we don't really need in this matchup. We need Monkey Dory. And then I think I'm just gonna use Ionok. We can still draw 6. And then we got another energy. Alright, cool. Counter Catcher. Yeah, 120. We're not dealing enough damage to the Radiant Greninja. So I'm just gonna use Blaze Blitz. 310 damage. Wow. With the maximum belt. Clefable's Metronome is insane. So against other builds that really has a strong attack, one that can deal one-hit knockouts, Clefable is insane. Maybe Charizard EX. This is gonna be a really strong matchup against that one too. But that's what we got. I think this will do well against Raging Bolts as well, because we can stack energies between to all our Pokemon basically. With Gardevoir EX, we can discard those energies and then hit for a lot of damage. But yeah, keep those Gouging Fires coming, man. Keep those Gouging Fires coming. If they can't add HP onto it, we could just use its attack against it. And knock it out. So with that, we can evolve into another Clefable, knock out this Gouging Fire, and get another 2 prizes. Each time they attack and knock out our Clefable, they're only taking 1 prize. So yeah, let's go ahead and use Moon Watching Party again. Recycle that strategy. I'll attach this Dark Energy, and then I can get my Gardevoir EX. Let's use Refinement. We are ahead in the prize, or we're equal in prize, so Counter Catcher is not going to be as useful right now. And we got Boss Orders. Alright. I think we're all set for next turn, actually. Use Psychic Embrace. Attach an energy here and here. And I'll just attach another energy just for the damage. And then I can use Monkey Dory to transfer those to one of their Pokemon. So what I'm going to try and do here is actually transfer it to their Radiant Greninja. We can use Boss Orders and copy Delphox V's attack against them. And knock out their Moltres and Radiant Greninja. So with Arven, I'm just going to use Super Rod to recover these Pokemon, because Gardevoir EX could be an easy target. We'll need that definitely to accelerate energies to our Pokemon. So with that, we're gonna use Metronome and knock out another Gouging Fire. Alright, we're doing good so far, guys. I think we got this. As long as they don't have Manaphy, there goes another Gouging Fire. We could just boss that Gouging Fire to win this game. Either way, we can use Delphox, knock out 2 Pokemon, boss their Gouging Fire, and knock it out as well. But we need to evolve into another Clefable though. We can't use boss and draw for more cards in the next turn. I mean, I could still get the cards I need with Curlia. Depending on our RNG, we should be able to set up another Clefable on our next turn. But my opponent is running out of cards from their deck. I don't know how else they're gonna win this. They need 4 more prizes to go. Even if they knock out our Gardevoir EX, they get 2. But we could just knock out whatever they put in the active spot. Okay, Lost Vacuum. What are they doing? We don't have anything. Okay. Oh, they're just reducing cards from their hand to draw at least 1 with Mew EX. And there it is! My opponent concedes! Good game. And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.